Did you know that you can choose your thoughts? Yes, you can. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Effective Immediately, the show where we talk mindset, healthy emotions, leadership, abundance, and I give you a new mindset shift that you can make effective immediately. All right, so we're diving right in and we are going to be talking about what to say to yourself when you have those thoughts and you realize that you've said something or thought something that you don't want to be thinking. You actually have the opportunity to change your thoughts and change your mind. So often we hear people say, well, I can't change how I feel. I can't change how I think. And the truth is, you actually can. You can go deep and work with someone like me, or you can practice these on your own. And truly, I practice them every single day myself. So let's dive in and just talk about for a moment how our facts are, let me try that again. Our thoughts are not facts. Our thoughts are not facts. Repeat that with me. Our thoughts are not facts. The things that you think you have, let's just acknowledge right here, right now, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. Not all of these are going to be perfect thoughts in alignment with your vision, your goal, your dream, your desire. Some of them will come seemingly out of nowhere and not make any sense in a moment when you are feeling great. You can have a thought come in from your subconscious mind and telling you, no, you can't have what you want. You don't deserve what you want. You're not smart enough. You're not whatever, fill in the blank enough to have what you want. And in those moments, when those thoughts come in, I want you to be very aware of your thoughts. I want you to practice being aware of your thoughts so that you can replace them, you can shift them, and you can allow yourself to be on the path to what you want faster. Okay, so we've all heard of positive affirmations and positive self-talk, and today I'm going to give you some examples of how to integrate these into your life and to do it all as a practice. As always, we're approaching our mind and our life in a state of curiosity. We're collecting data and we're allowing ourselves to be human. Spiritual beings having a human experience. Often we want to shake off our humanness and just go flying through life as the spiritual being that we are inside. And the humanness gets to be enjoyed too. All right, so let's look at what that means. When I say that you get to enjoy your humanness, you get to notice your thoughts. You get to explore the thoughts and the patterns that you have, and you get to play with them with curiosity. You get to shift them. You get to allow yourself to be the leader of yourself first, and then everyone else. Your leadership is for you first, and then everyone else. Your gifts are for you first, and then everyone else. Your business, the exploration that you do within your business and your gifts, they're for you first and everyone else second. So as you are being this spiritual being in this human experience, it's going to get messy. Your thoughts will not be perfect. Do not expect them to. If you're just starting this video now, go back to the beginning when we're done and notice how I messed up my intro today, and I'm still okay. Your thoughts get to be messy, and you get to practice being the curator of your thoughts. You get to practice being the curator of your experience. So now maybe you've heard this when you are on social media, that you need to curate your feed. You need to choose what you want to see and what kind of experiences that you want to have there. And the same is true with your mind. So if you can imagine, let's just imagine going through your Facebook feed, and there's a news station that never shares anything positive, just repeats the same things over and over and over. And you get the information that you need, but also you get overloaded by that information. It stirs you up. It causes you to focus on the negative things that are happening instead of allowing yourself to recognize that there are positive things going on in the world too. Maybe you decide to unfollow that. Maybe you decide to just check in with it when you want to, and you don't see it as often as you want to because you're making the conscious decision to change the way that you look at the world. Because the way that you look at the world is your world. Okay, so now imagine you're doing that with your thoughts. You're allowing those 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day to come through your mind. And even right now, you're like, 60 to 70, do I think that much? Do I talk to myself that much? Yes, you do. It's happening automatically. Your subconscious is going and shooting thoughts to the surface, and you're making conscious decisions and having conscious conversations, and all those thoughts compile and make 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. Why am I really driving home that number? Because I want you to recognize that this is not going to be a perfect process, that you're not going to have a perfect stream of thoughts without ever any distractions or any questions or any little blips of limiting beliefs coming your way. You get to explore with curiosity. You get to explore your humanness and have fun. Yes, there will be hard days. And even on those hard days, even when it seems like things are falling apart, you get to choose your thoughts. You get to feel your feelings. You get to luxuriate in your feelings if you want to. Sometimes I even like to do that, where I just get mad and I want to let myself be mad until I'm done being mad, and then I'll shift my thoughts. Then I'll shift my feelings. And you can do that too. Okay, so looking at this with curiosity, looking at the quality of your thoughts, looking at it with a beginner mindset. This is also very, very important piece, that you will not ever outgrow your growth. You won't ever outgrow growing. Every part of your life is going to bring in new lessons, new wisdom, new questions, new curiosities, greater level of your imagination, greater levels of understanding, and also greater curiosity about what can happen next. What if I shift my thoughts about this? What if I heal my thoughts about this experience? What could I have on the other side? So even as you're practicing these things, looking at it with curiosity, remember that you're never going to reach the perfect place. And I don't use absolutes very often. You know that about me. But we are here for growth. You probably won't reach a place where you're like, okay, I'm done growing. I don't need anything else. I don't want anything else. That will probably never happen. You'll probably be in a state of growth and curiosity until your last breaths. My grandma went to Bible study until 2 weeks before she passed. That is curiosity, right? That is seeking understanding. And that gets to be where you operate from this growth mindset, where you know that you're going to be curious about things. You're going to wonder. You're going to have thoughts and wonder where the heck that thought came from, because it doesn't make any sense with what you're trying to manifest. And that's okay. Okay, so let's dive into some technical things here, some practical things that you can do. And these will be daily practices, okay? You can allow yourself to fall off the wagon and mess up and not practice every single day. But the more that you practice, the easier it is. And you may have heard some of these before and think you know about it, right? You think you know the thing. And so often we'll get caught in this trap of, well, I know how to do that, or I know about that, so I've already learned it. But the truth is, when you're practicing these mindset shifts and awarenesses, you will need to practice them to really know them. To really know and understand what's possible for you, you will need to continue to practice them. You can know about the concept, right? You can know about the concept. You can know about the idea, but bringing it in and practicing it and learning it is where you're going to achieve the most. Okay, here we go. We have talked about affirmations a little bit in the past. And today I want to just explore how you can use affirmations to your fullest advantage. Think about what might be your favorite affirmation. I have a bunch. I want you to think of one of your favorite ones. And if you have a favorite, I'd love for you to put it in the comments. One of them for me is I am creating the best version of myself. Okay? I am creating the best version of myself. I am creating the best version of myself. As we repeat affirmations and we say them with the energy that we want to feel from them, and we invite our senses into it, we think about how it would feel, we love the way it sounds, we can get into a visualization, a little mini visualization of how that looks, and we invite ourselves to get charged up, to get excited, to get inspired, to get motivated by the words, where you can feel your energy lift, you can feel your mood shift. And often people will say an affirmation a couple times, but the power is to repeat the affirmation over and over, like 30 times, until you feel a shift in your body. Sometimes we expect these affirmations to be like this magical pill that you take once and everything changes. There really isn't one of those for anything, is there? So why would we expect it for this? Allow yourself to repeat the affirmation, to have fun with it, to engage your senses, to engage your energy, and to shift your mood. Shift the volume, shift the tempo, let yourself get excited as you say it. I'm creating the best version of myself. I want you to hear how this looks, right? Or hear how this sounds. I am creating the best version of myself. If I say that with the groggy energy from the moment I wake up in the morning or the moment my alarm goes off and I'm not feeling very excited to get up this morning, for example, and I say, well, I'm creating the best version of myself, and I think that that's going to do the trick, and I move on, you're not really using the affirmation to its full advantage. So imagine then, I'm creating the best version of myself. And I'm thinking about what that affirmation means to me. I'm creating the best version of myself. And I'm thinking about what that looks in my life, how that feels in my relationships, how it feels working with my business, how it feels with my clients, how I feel when I'm with my friends, how present I am when I'm petting my puppies. Whatever it is in your life, I am creating the best version of myself. I'm creating the best version of myself. I'm creating the best version of myself. You can feel the energy heighten. You can feel the excitement heighten. Now, if you do that with your favorite affirmations and you engage all those senses, you have shifted your energy. You have shifted your frequency. You've shifted your vibration. You've shifted where your thoughts will go. So much so that the next thoughts that come through will probably be in support of that affirmation because you have engaged so many of your senses. You visualized it, you felt the energy increase. This is a beautiful example of how you can choose your thoughts, what you decide to say to yourself. So you can wake up in the morning. You can use affirmations any time of the day. You can do them before bed. You can do them when you wake up in the morning. You can listen to them while you're asleep. As you notice when you wake up in the morning what your thoughts are, what the quality of your thoughts are. If you're frustrated about today, if you're worried about today, you're already engaged with less than ideal thinking. Choose to shift your mind. Choose to state and restate your affirmation or choose to acknowledge the thoughts that you're having and to tweak them, shift them, move them slightly in a new direction, even if it's just a couple degrees, so you can start to rewrite the thoughts. And if you do this with regularity, I can promise you that when you have that old thought, when it starts to creep in, it will start to automatically shift for you. That's the power of your beautiful brain. That's the power of you practicing these techniques. The more that you do them, the easier it becomes and how automatic it will become. Now, what's really powerful here is when you look at moments when you are afraid, when you are feeling fear, when you're feeling doubt, when you're feeling guilt. All of those things are rooted in fear. You have a fearful thought come in. We know how important it is to not engage with a fearful thought. We don't want to attract more thoughts. We don't want to send our behaviors into a direction that we don't want to go. So when we notice a fear thought coming in, something that says, oh, I'm scared about today. I'm scared that I have to have this meeting. I'm afraid that I have to give this presentation and how the people will respond to what I'm saying and this new idea. Whatever the thing is that you have going on. I'm afraid of how my relationship will feel today. I'm afraid of how the anxiety will show up in my life today. Whatever is happening, whatever the thoughts are, you get to begin to shift them. Let's use anxiety, because I work with people dealing with anxiety and resentment and frustration, old patterns that are still showing up in their lives today. Let's look at how this would look. Okay, waking up with that feeling of anxiety, wondering, how bad is it going to get today? How out of control am I going to feel today? How worried am I going to be today? How is it going to impact my day? Often when people are dealing with things like anxiety, the fear of the fear is present. The worry of the anxiety starts even as they wake up. Okay, so noticing the thought, what am I going to do with this anxiety today? How bad is it going to be? Even allowing yourself to notice the thought, put your hand on your heart, connect with yourself, and recognize, I can choose my thought. Even just saying that thought, saying it in your mind or saying it out loud, I can choose my thoughts. I can choose my feelings. And reminding yourself, my thoughts are not facts. Can start to create a little space between your thoughts to notice and recognize what's happening in your thoughts. My thoughts aren't facts. I can choose my thoughts. And sometimes when the thoughts are going pretty quickly, you might have to say it a few times. You might have to remind yourself that you can choose your thoughts. But those 3 statements, I can choose my thoughts, I can choose my feelings, my thoughts aren't facts, are powerful statements for you to begin to recognize, for you to begin to interrupt the pattern so that you can start feeding yourself better thoughts. And what would you say instead? What would you say instead to yourself? Knowing yourself, knowing the feelings that you have, what could you say instead? What would be a powerful thought to interrupt the thoughts that you've been having? You don't have to think of it right now, but I want you to really consider this, maybe jot it down, to notice the quality of the thought that you are having. When you can change your thought, when you can choose your thought, when you can choose your feeling, and you remember, my thoughts aren't facts. And then you even add in, I can choose my feelings, I can choose my reality, I can choose the way I want my life to go. You bring a sense of power back. Instead of feeling like you are a victim to your thoughts, which you are not, you get to bring that energy back to a place of, I can choose my thoughts, I can choose my feelings. My thoughts aren't facts. I choose my reality. When you gently do this, where you're not fighting yourself, you're not mad at yourself, you're not blaming yourself, you might have a little frustration at times. That would be completely normal and natural. You might get really ticked off at yourself, but try to rein that in and come back and looking at what's happening in your thoughts, what's happening in your feelings, what's happening in your body with curiosity, with collecting data rather than judgment. You'll create a safer space for yourself to create new thoughts. Okay, how's that landing for you? Give yourself a breath. Waking up with anxious thoughts, having a feeling of how's the anxiety going to be today? Remember that you have a lot going on in addition to the anxiety. So a thought could be, how's the rest of my day going to look? How happy am I going to feel at certain times today? How excited will I get to feel at certain times today? How joyful will I allow myself to feel at certain times today? These are powerful questions that you can ask. Even when the anxiety question is right there, you can ask the other questions. Because what happens when you ask your mind these kinds of questions, it will start to show you the evidence that you're seeking. It will start to show you that things can look, you can look at things in a different way, that there will be moments of anxiety, there will be moments of happiness, there will be moments of contentment, there will be moments of gratitude. Now, what's important here is that you don't have to even bypass the anxiety or pretend. If you've hung around me at all, you know that one of my least favorite things is spiritual bypassing or pretending that the feeling is not happening. You can acknowledge that the thought is there. You can acknowledge it, and then you can allow yourself, okay, I see that thought, but this is how I want to feel on the other side of it. You can let yourself feel the feeling, and then when you're ready to move, you can shift into a new thought and a new feeling. One of a very powerful thing that you can do is even to create visualizations around this, where you see the anxiety as a color or a shape and a size. And you can imagine that you have a remote control where you can shift the color, you can shift the size, you can shift the shape of it, and the anxiety will start to calm down. You can begin to visualize yourself in a situation where you feel peace, where you feel excitement, where you feel joy, whatever the thing is that you want to feel. Engaging once again your body, engaging your energy, letting yourself heighten your energy, let yourself get excited. Retraining your mind to think, maybe I'm not anxious right now, maybe I'm just excited. Maybe I'm not so nervous as I am excited for my day. Because the physical responses of those things are so similar, you can begin to shift and allow yourself to explore the idea that maybe you're just excited. We know that being delusional is helpful in certain situations, right? Being delusional is helpful when you're trying to manifest something into your life, when you're trying to create your own reality. Now I'm talking about the non-mental health issue of being delusional. I'm talking about being delusional in creating, just having this massive belief that you can create the life that you want. You can create the life that you want. You can create the partnership that you want. You can share your gifts the way that you want. You can create the business that you want. You can have the clients that you want. You can have the relationship that you want. You can have the friendships that you want. You can create the community that you want. Allow yourself to be in a state of excitement so often that when the anxiety comes, you can actually question, am I anxious right now or am I excited? And then if the answer is, yeah, I'm anxious, then look at all the ways that the thing that you're dealing with can be shifted. Now, if you're feeling stuck in this, like you can't see your way out of it, then I invite you to reach out to me. My favorite thing to do is to help powerful leaders and healers and coaches to release the anxiety that they carry, the resentment, the frustration, release the old trauma that keeps them with this ceiling on their lives about how happy or wealthy or joyful or the quality of the relationships that they can have. So you can set yourself free. You can connect with me through RebeccaWiener.com, or you can go to Call with Rebecca right away and schedule a call with me, and we'll talk about what results we can get you. Now, if you're dealing with these things and you are engaging your senses, like I mentioned, you're creating mental images, and you're allowing yourself to shift into what you want, and then continuing on with the visualization, you will notice that you are having fun. You will notice that you can allow yourself to have this creative energy, and that this can be the thing that you always return to whenever you feel this feeling of anxiety. That the feeling of anxiety, the thought of anxiety, the racing thoughts, whatever is happening, doesn't have to be the end. We know that we always come out of it, right? That we don't need to get stuck in anxiety. We don't need to get stuck in a negative thought loop. We don't need to get stuck in an angry thought loop forever and ever and ever. It will eventually shift. So reminding yourself, you choose your thoughts, you choose your reality, helps you interrupt that, whatever the thought patterns are, and to engage with what you want to be thinking about. The big vision, the big goal, the big launch, the big sale, the big book, the big gift, the big party, whatever the thing is that's coming up in your life. And if there's not like a big thing happening on the calendar, just getting in the enjoyment of your life, being present and allowing yourself to recognize these thoughts, these loops of thoughts don't have to run my life. Even if they seem to be not to the level of anxiety, but they feel like they're just not as beneficial as you want them to be, allow yourself to come back to the idea that you can choose your thoughts. Always come back to the idea that you can choose your thoughts. Now, as you are choosing your thoughts and you're creating what you want in your thoughts, you can help your mind to start looking for evidence that these things exist. This is often how our manifestations will come alive. The more that we think about what we want instead of what we don't want, we are led. We get inspiration. Our mind starts looking for evidence, starts looking for solutions, starts looking for the way, and we receive information from our higher power, from our higher self, to get closer to that goal, to get closer to that vision, to allow it to become a reality. Now, we have limiting beliefs. That's normal. Because most of all those 60 to 70,000 thoughts and 95% of our thoughts and our actions are governed by our subconscious mind. And most of those things were set in place before we were age 8. Most of the way that we respond as adults was set in motion based on the way that we were treated, the way that we behaved, the way that we were cared for before age 8. And we learned from just being a little sponge about the way the world works. We received lots of limiting beliefs because we didn't have a full understanding of how the world works before age 8. We started to create lots of limitations and stories about the way things are just because of how what we were witnessing in our lives, how we were treated, what we saw, what we heard. And these were unconscious teachings and unconscious lessons. So we're not looking to blame anybody, but we're just looking to acknowledge that it's normal and natural for us to have limiting beliefs. And they can be shifted. Any trauma that's happened in your life, we can heal the root of the trauma and start to shift any beliefs that were placed in your subconscious mind about it. We can actually rewrite the hard drive. We can upgrade the operating system so that you can have different kinds of beliefs. And you can create a growth mindset for yourself every single day by reminding yourself that you can choose your thoughts. What would be the most beneficial thought for me to think right now? And then start thinking that. A lot of this is happening inside, right? So it's not like you're going to notice it written on the wall. You're not going to notice it written in your notes on your phone. You're going to have to pay attention, and you're going to get to pay attention to what's happening in your mind, what's happening in your body, the quality of your thoughts, noticing them without judging them, acknowledging them without beating yourself up about what they are, and then allowing yourself to have better. Allowing yourself to trust that it gets to be better, it gets to be easier. And that anytime you have a thought telling you can't have what you want, the thing that feels good and right and natural, the thing that you crave in your cells, you get to have it. And anytime that you create a thought from your subconscious mind that you can't have what you want, you get to override it with a new one. A beneficial thought that says, I can have this. It can be this way. Show me how easy it can be. Show me how simple it can be. Guide me to take the next step. Help me hold the belief that I can have the life that I want. Help me hold the belief that I can have the partnership that I want. Help me hold the belief that I can build the relationship that I want. Help me hold the belief that I can create the wealth that I want. As you do that, you begin to shift the way that you think, the way that your mind is working. You're going to start to do this automatically, and the thoughts will also start to override themselves automatically. The more you practice it, the more you repeat it. It doesn't have to take a ton of effort. It certainly doesn't have to take a lot of energy because you're not adding in the judgment of yourself. You're just enjoying the process of giving yourself what you actually want. So we're going to do observation without judgment. We're not going to get attached to the thoughts that are not beneficial. You let yourself be in the present, ground into the present, noticing what's happening right here and right now, and then shifting into what you want to think, what you want your life to look like. And do it with the excitement and the energy, even if you have to manufacture it the first few times. Even if you have to force yourself to get excited. Imagine that feeling when you get to see your favorite person, or the feeling when you are somewhere and you hear your favorite song that you haven't heard for a long time, or you come around the aisle in the grocery and your best friend is standing there unexpectedly. That's the kind of feeling that you get to create in your body. Let it feel excited. Let yourself enjoy the process of shifting your mind. And when you're talking to yourself, make sure it's really good stuff. Okay, so your effective immediately mindset tip of the week is to pay attention to your thoughts. Okay, no judgment. And this is very similar to last week's because I wanted to really drive this home for you. If my brain were the order fulfillment center and my thoughts were the orders, would I want my brain to bypass the cart and the checkout and just automatically send me what I'm asking for? I want you to play in that energy again this week. Allow yourself to play in that energy of, ooh, was that what I really wanted? Or can I shift it to what I really want? And practice shifting it to what you really want. Allowing your brain to hear the message over and over of what you want so it can help you create it. All right, I have opened another 4 spots for my private one-on-one elevated leader program where I help you release anxiety, stress, stuck patterns, limiting beliefs, and elevate your thinking your emotional patterns, your standards and behaviors so you can share your gifts with the world with passion and freedom and allow yourself to receive beautiful payment of wealth and joy and freedom. And often this means creating a new reality of leadership and new streams of income. So please be in touch with me through RebeccaWiener.com or send me a DM wherever you see this video, and I will talk to you very soon. Have a beautiful week. Bye for now.